Have you ever heard the term parental alienation and wondered where it came from or what it really means? It's a topic that comes up a lot, especially in conversations about family law and custody. Today, we're going to dive into this complex subject, provide some clarity, and separate the facts from the fiction. We'll be looking at the origins of the concept, how it's understood today, and why the focus should be on the well-being of families. Let's start at the beginning. The term Parental Alienation Syndrome was first introduced back in the 1980s by a psychiatrist named Richard Gardner. He was working in the field of child custody and noticed certain patterns in family dynamics during separations. Gardner's idea was that a child might become estranged from one parent, not because of any genuine wrongdoing by that parent, but due to the influence of the other parent. He proposed this as a specific syndrome, a collection of symptoms that, in his view, constituted a diagnosable condition. Now, this is where it gets a bit complicated. Since Gardner introduced his theory, it has been the subject of intense debate. His original ideas have been interpreted, reinterpreted, and sometimes even misinterpreted in many different ways over the decades. It's important to understand that Gardner wrote about a wide range of subjects within psychiatry. His work on parental alienation was just one part of a larger body of writing. He also discussed other psychological conditions from a very academic and clinical perspective. One of the key issues that has arisen is that his clinical descriptions, which were meant for a specific professional audience, have often been taken out of that context. When academic or clinical language is read by the general public without the proper background, it can lead to a lot of confusion and misunderstanding. This has certainly been the case with some of Gardner's work. So let's talk about the term parental alienation as it's used today. It's crucial to distinguish between Gardner's specific parental alienation syndrome and the more general concept of parental alienation. The phrase parental alienation itself is made up of common language. It's not a formal diagnosis you'll find in major psychiatric manuals like the DSM-5. Instead, it has become a descriptive term, a kind of shorthand used by parents, lawyers, and even some therapists to describe a pattern of behavior they see in certain high-conflict family situations. Essentially, it describes a dynamic where a child aligns strongly with one parent and rejects the other without a legitimate reason, like abuse or neglect. This rejection is often fueled by the favored parent's negative talk, actions, or attitudes towards the other parent. So, while the term itself isn't an official diagnosis, the pattern of behavior it describes is very real and widely recognized by professionals working with families. Think of it this way. While there's still a lot of debate among experts about whether parental alienation syndrome, as Gardner defined it, is a valid clinical entity, there's much broader agreement that the behaviors associated with it do occur. You'll find family court judges, social workers, and child psychologists who have all witnessed these challenging dynamics firsthand. They might not all use the same label. Some might call it parental gatekeeping, resist-refuse dynamics, or alignment and rejection, but they are all talking about a similar observable pattern. The core issue is a child's unjustified rejection of a parent, often influenced by the other. This brings us to a really important point. While it can be interesting to discuss the history and the debates around terminology, it's easy to get lost in those arguments. The real focus should be on the family itself. What's happening within the relationships? What are the communication patterns like? How is the conflict between the parents affecting the child? These are the questions that truly matter. Getting bogged down in debates about specific labels or the history of one particular psychiatrist can distract from the urgent need to help the family heal and function better. The goal for any professional involved should be to understand the unique dynamics of that specific family and find solutions that support the child's well-being and their right to a healthy relationship with both parents whenever it is safe and possible. So where does that leave us? Let's recap what we've covered. Richard Gardner was a psychiatrist who, in the 1980s, introduced a controversial concept he called Parental Alienation Syndrome. His work was part of a broader career in psychiatry and has since been interpreted and debated in many different ways. The general term parental alienation, separate from Gardner's specific syndrome, is now commonly used to describe an observable pattern in some families where a child unjustifiably rejects one parent. While the formal definition is still discussed, the behaviors themselves are widely recognized by professionals in the field. And finally, and most importantly, the focus should always be on understanding the family's specific relationships and communication patterns, rather than getting stuck on arguments about terminology or who first came up with an idea. The field of family dynamics is constantly evolving. Ongoing research continues to explore these complex issues, providing new insights into how to best support children and parents during difficult times. The goal of this video was to provide some much-needed clarity and context to a topic that is often misunderstood. By understanding the history and the different ways the term is used, we can have more productive conversations focused on what truly matters: the health and happiness of children caught in the middle of parental conflict. It's a reminder that behind every label and every theory, there are real people and real families navigating incredibly difficult situations. If you or someone you know is dealing with these kinds of family challenges, reaching out to qualified family therapists, counselors, or legal professionals who specialize in family law is a crucial first step. They can provide guidance and support tailored to your specific situation. Thanks so much for watching and taking the time to understand this complex topic with me. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into important psychological and social issues. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, but please remember to keep the discussion respectful and constructive. See you in the next video.